Hey guys, welcome to my guide to Tomb Raider 1-3 Remastered Challenge Mode. In this video, we are going to together unlock every single achievement and more importantly, every single outfit in its bronze, silver and gold variety, because outfits is really what it's all about, for better or worse. So first and foremost guys, in case you're here just for a specific achievement or specific outfit unlock, check the description below. It has you covered as far as timestamps are concerned, or even the individual chapters you can see the video is split into, so that you can look exactly what you're looking for. But in case you want an overall guide how best to approach the whole procedure of unlocking everything gradually throughout the 3 games within 3 to 4 hours, then please stick around. Also, I want to share some initial thoughts I have about this patch right here, right now. In case you're interested about that, also do stick around, otherwise you can skip forward in the video. So first and foremost guys, I remember that originally when the leaked achievements appeared, and I even made a post about this at the time, I was intrigued. Then, a couple of days before the release of this patch, the Tomb Raider official channel started posting a couple of videos, little teasers, 3-4 seconds long, showing the new outfits, and I was excited. And then I applied the patch and lost all my save files. On PC, not on PlayStation 4 and 5 thankfully, but good old games and Steam, gone. Over 100 hours put into it, everything was gone. Yeah, nothing kills your excitement quite as much as losing everything, does it? Now thankfully, I'm a very paranoid person, and as part of me covering certain games on my channel, I always make save file backups after each single video, even archiving older saves to get into the previous state the game was in, should I ever want to double or triple check a claim I made in a video if it still holds up or not. So I was able to restore all my save files, but not everyone is this paranoid doing this and this lucky. So guys, important warning, if you're playing this on PC and you have not yet updated the patch, please save your save files, make a backup. Even export it to either hard disk or somewhere on a cloud, store them, then apply the patch, see what happens, and if your save files are gone, you'll be able to import them quite easily back. That's been my case. But I also haven't been the only one who has suffered this on PC. I see users mentioning this on other Tomb Raider fans videos. Also, Game Breakers UK suffered a similar fate. So this is terrible and absolutely unacceptable. Patch is supposed to bring new features and fix old bugs, not delete your entire progress and introduce new bugs, and there's plenty. And I would understand this if I was running mods on my games, but those were completely clean, official install games. There's no reason for this to happen. So this is very unfortunate and already made a very bad first impression and should be called out. Furthermore guys, I mentioned other new problems the patch introduces, and let me just get the most obvious bugs out of the way. Whenever subtitles are on screen, these are carried over and never ever disappear from the screen, which becomes very annoying very quickly. Not a problem in cutscenes, but let's say you're playing Lara's home, or you're playing Diving Area and listening to Bartolin's henchman interrogation of the monk, they will not disappear. So for the purposes of this video, you will, I think, even see me disabling the subtitles so they don't get out of the way, but this is a problem for people playing the games normally outside of the challenge mode. Furthermore, when launching a level, or even loading a game from the main menu, oftentimes the main menu keeps playing in the level itself. It's incredibly disruptive. Would be cool to have a toggle like this if we wanted to, but that needs to be our choice, not a bug like this. This needs to be fixed ASAP. Furthermore, I experienced this only on PlayStation 4, but I don't have the footage to show you, but whenever I enable the photo mode, I would notice textures either disappearing completely or swapping all around, and even a weird glitch happening on screen whenever I would open up my inventory, and this had me worried. PlayStation 4 already had a few problems in this trilogy, but these are new ones. And finally, 2 of the outfits we are gonna unlock today are bugged. One is Ahab approved silver version and the other Speed Demon gold version. But don't worry, I figured out a way to unlock them on PlayStation 4, 5, GOG and Steam, so I have you covered, okay? And now that I mentioned GOG, one other thing guys, those of you playing on good old games on PC, let me know. Good old games always gets the shorter end of the stick. Sometimes you have to wait even half a year longer for a patch to arrive for whatever reason. This time the patch arrived day after, so I was excited, and then I realized none of the achievements did. So I did everything on the good old games version of the game, but the achievements don't yet exist there. This is very odd. But PlayStation 4, 5 and Steam are fine, and guys, those of you playing on Xbox or Epic Games Store, let us know. And Switch users, let us know what your experience has been. outside the achievements, because there are no achievements on Switch. Okay, guys? So that's what I want to get out of the way. And also one other thing I want to address before we begin. I see this discourse from fans happening online that we finally, no matter how buggy this update is, we finally got the long requested level selector. And I just want to set the record straight. No, we didn't. Okay, level selector from the original games, the PS1 versions, 30 years ago, allowed us, as you're playing through the game, it automatically created an autosave file of the journey you're taking with your unique inventory status, your unique in-game stats. Everything was autosaved as you move from level to level. It was phenomenal, and if you ever mess up saving, you could always either kill yourself and then restart the level, or you could roll back to an earlier level and start all over again. It was wonderful. The remasters oddly didn't have this. Now that we have this challenge mode update, you can boot up any level you've previously played and finished. However, your inventory is always going to be reset, and when you finish that level, you're not going to continue the journey. You're going to be thrown back to the menu, and you'll have to select the following level from that menu, again with a reset inventory. So again, this is worse than the level selector from 1990s somehow. I mean, I get that the challenge mode selector works differently, that's fine. But also, please give us the proper selector. And it really disappoints me when I see fans celebrating, oh, we have the level selector. No, we don't. Not really. So I just wanted to set the record straight, because this is a big discussion topic. Okay, guys? Now, that's the bad stuff out of the way, and I will have some more closing thoughts. But I have to say, throughout me doing this across 4 different platforms, I was smiling. I had a blast. And I do even like some of the new outfits. So, without further ado, let's go to the main menu and I'll show you what the challenge mode is all about. From the main menu, what you'll want is to navigate to Lara's passport, and the first time you open up the challenge mode, you'll be greeted with a tutorial splash text. Take notes, because you'll never ever see this text again, or take a screenshot like I did. So first of all, welcome to the challenge mode. After completing a level, it unlocks in the challenge mode menu where modifiers can be applied to increase its challenge rating, CR. Oh, that's what it is, challenge rating. Okay, I was kind of wondering if it's Croft rating or something along those lines. The combined modifiers define the total challenge rating, and your highest result is saved as the best challenge rating. Notice the skull Lara icon, it's pretty cool stuff. On to the next page. Reaching certain CR or level milestones unlocks outfits which grant optional bonuses and come in bronze, silver and gold cosmetic versions. Don't forget, these bonuses may only be enabled in specific games, and right here is one of the biggest disappointments of this challenge mode. There are 10 outfits 3 times to unlock. The problem is that with the exception of one of them, the remaining 3 and 3 and 3 are each locked into Tomb Raider 1, Tomb Raider 2 and Tomb Raider 3 with their respective expansion. You can apply the cosmetics of all of them across all games and expansions, but not the bonuses. You will soon notice that all levels are neatly packed into individual chapters, which is pretty cool, although why the Great Wall of China is not in the China chapter and why All Hallows is not in London chapter is beyond me. But nevertheless, when you navigate these, you'll probably notice that the Temple of the Cat, Nightmare in Vegas and Reunion are all locked. It seems the devs were not able to figure out the way to make the game check if you've already beaten the expansions outside of the save files, and the latest save file you do is already just before finishing these levels, so just reload each of your save files, beat the levels, and you'll now have a permanent access to reach them in the challenge mode. Now, before we take a more detailed look at the challenge mode menu, I want to take a look at Lara's sunglasses and the outfit section, which is now also in the main menu, which was not the case before. Here, you can browse all 10 outfits in their bronze, silver and gold variety and check the unlock conditions and also the unique ability each brings to the table. They are essentially ordered starting with Tomb Raider 1 outfits, then Tomb Raider 2 outfits, then the Speed Demon, which is the only outfit applicable to all 3 games, and then Tomb Raider 3 outfits. This is how they decided to structure them. You'll also notice that the outfits' abilities are identical amongst the bronze, silver and gold tiers. The difference is in cosmetics and the unlock conditions. I think this is really cool because even less experienced Tomb Raider players can still unlock all these unique cool abilities, but if they're not skilled enough, they're just gonna get stuck with the bronze version of an outfit, which in some cases is actually the best looking one. It's subject to your own personal preference. Now for some outfits, unlocking its gold version means automatically also unlocking the bronze and silver, which is what I'm gonna be aiming for today to be efficient wherever possible. But there are some outfits, like the Speed Demon over here, which has a completely different unlock requirements for each tier, and even if we unlock gold immediately, that wouldn't unlock silver or bronze. So let's start with Speed Demon Bronze, one of the most useful outfits in the game, and for this, we need to beat a level on CR rating 5 or higher under 3 minutes. And this sounds awfully familiar to an achievement. The achievement that's on my mind is Gotta Go Fast. Complete a CR5 level in under 3 minutes. See how this matches the Bronze Speed Demon unlock condition exactly? There are gonna be multiple instances like that where you're gonna get an achievement and an outfit too. Now how about we combine this with Capable Croft, complete a level on CR5. But how about we raise the stakes and combine it with Adept Adventurer, complete a level on CR10. But how about we combine that with Pistol Prodigy, complete a CR10 level with only pistols. But how about we combine that with Pacifist, complete a CR10 level without killing anyone. But how about we combine that with Serious Survivalist, completing a level on CR15. But how about we combine that with Expert Explorer, completing a level on CR20. Well, how about we combine that with Heroic Heroine, completing a level on CR25. And since we don't have any bonus outfits unlocked yet, how about we combine that with Peak Lara, complete a level on CR30 without any outfit bonuses. Guys, I'm not gonna surprise any of you via mentioning Thames Wharf. Now to give you a rundown of the challenge mode menu itself, after selecting your level, you can select a challenge mode specific outfit, meaning the challenge mode outfits new to this patch that you can unlock and use in challenge mode. You cannot really choose here any other cosmetics from the main game, which is a bit of a shame, just the default or challenge mode outfits only. You also, when playing challenge mode, will find out there are no sunglasses in your inventory anymore. You cannot enable outfit selector, golden pistols toggle, or even the sunglasses toggle in challenge mode. This is such a bummer, but all challenge mode outfits you will unlock will carry over to the main game minus their gameplay bonuses, and you'll be able then to combine them via outfit selector with golden pistols and sunglasses, and that is fun. But nevertheless, we don't have any unlocked yet, so no outfit bonus for us. Moving on, Lara's health, you can set it to 5 times its initial value or just 10%, which is what we're gonna do for +6 CR. The same thing we're gonna do with Lara's regen. This means her health either increasing or decreasing as if she was poisoned. Setting it to -5 HP per second is really powerful, and it just means how fast you are gonna end up with 1 HP. This degen, if I can call it that way, will never result in your death like poison. It just means you're very quickly gonna get to the state where you cannot take any damage, and we're gonna do this here for 6 extra CR. Then, by not unlocking unlimited air underwater, since we don't care about that now, we're not gonna mess anything up. When it comes to equipment and additional weapon, equipment will tell you how many medipacks, large, small, how many flares, and how much ammo you start with. An additional weapon means what other weapon other than pistols you're gonna play with in this challenge mode level. And this, my friends, is a huge disappointment for me, because in Tomb Raider 1 you're gonna get to toggle shotgun, magnums and Uzis, which is fine, that's all the weapons, but somehow the devs forgot that Tomb Raider 2 and 3 have more than 4 weapons. In Tomb Raider 2 all you can do is again shotgun, automatic pistols and Uzis, and in Tomb Raider 3 it's shotgun and Desert Eagle and Uzis. That's it. I don't understand this. What happened to MP5, M16, rocket and grenade launchers? It's just absolutely baffling that this wouldn't make it here. Moving on to the final 4 settings, these are all about the enemies you'll encounter. So enemy health and damage, very straightforward. You can set it from 25% to 10 times that, 250. That's gonna make you feel like you're playing New Game Plus mode again. Also, enemy numbers, this is really interesting. You can go all the way from Ghost Town to all hands on deck. It's supposed to respect the enemy types in a level and just increase their placements all over it or decrease it. Presumably in Ghost Town you would encounter no enemies, which is an interesting way to explore the level design. And finally, enemy type, this is where it gets complicated. You can leave things as they are on normal, Or you can go to the left to go to upscaling and downscaling. Upscaling and downscaling are rather confusing. I think the idea is that as you play the level more and more, the enemies that will spawn will be progressively weaker or progressively stronger. Honestly, I haven't really noticed much difference between normal and upscaling. These are the ones I tested. Upscaling, as far as I'm concerned, 3 CR points, honestly. Where it gets really interesting, however, is the Mutant Mayhem, the Cryptid Confusion, or Randomizer. Randomizer takes all the enemies from the entire game within that game. Unfortunately, this doesn't combine enemies from across multiple games and puts them into the level. The Cryptid Confusion is gonna enable enemies like raptors, rats, and things you would find in dungeons and tombs. This is a little bit different for each of the 3 games. And then finally, Mutant Mayhem is actually unique to Tomb Raider 3, and that means filling the level with RX Tech Mine's muties. Okay, pretty scary stuff, or even the ones, the Apex mutants from Lost City of Tinos. Each game, Tomb Raider 2 and Tomb Raider 1, have one additional enemy type modifier. For Tomb Raider 2, that's mob mobilization, introducing the entirety of Bartoli's henchman army, including the Tibet enemies with full-on automatic weapons. Fear them. You don't want to see them in Lara's home sweet home. And finally, for Tomb Raider 1 Atlantean advancements, I think there's only like 3 levels in the entire Tomb Raider 1 where you can actually enable this. I don't know why it's locked everywhere, but this is gonna introduce Natla's muties into areas where they shouldn't be. Anyway, back to Thames Wolf. For this run, we want 20-50-20-50, all hands on deck and upscaling to really squeeze those CR points and reach a total CR of 30. Let's begin. I'm not gonna surprise any of you here. Make sure to do the jump quickly before Lara's health degen will deal too much damage and she'll end up breaking her legs. Alternatively, you can shimmy through the roof with the crow without triggering the crow. Killing the crow would fail our pacifist achievement. Notice the Shiva statues across London. This is absolutely horrifying, and it seems we got stuck here for a while, but this is a bit random where exactly they will appear. You can just rerun it and get luckier, but it's fine. We will still make it. Jump across the roof and move on to the final jump, where make sure to hold the action key not to hit Lara's head. And now I want to see Steam explode. So 3 achievements is the maximum Steam can display at any one time, and combined together they make up the Steam icon. Oh, that's really sweet. Guys, I know this is disgusting and dirty method, but how often in your life will you get to unlock 9 achievements in a couple of seconds and see how the client can handle it? What the game doesn't tell you is that we have also made progress for the Raider of Tombs achievement, asking us to finish 3 CR15 levels or higher. Well, we just finished our first at CR30, and we will gradually unlock it as we tackle different things, don't you worry. The stat screen also asks us to scroll down to see that we have unlocked a new outfit. After confirming, we are thrown back into the challenge menu. I'm not opening this, the game does it automatically, so now we have to go a step back and then check the shades for the new outfit we have unlocked. And this, my friends, is the Bronze Speed Demon. The passive abilities: Lara has Hyper Armor that ignores first damage of an attack. 10-second cooldown. This is huge and makes it one of the best outfits in the game. And in Tomb Raider 3 you get the perk of infinite stamina for infinite sprinting, which has huge speedrunning implications. I just really wish we would have gotten sprinting for Tomb Raider 1 and 2. A guy can dream. Moving on to the silver variant of Speed Demon, we need to complete Tomb Raider 2 Assault course under 120, Tomb Raider 3 Assault course under 220, and Tomb Raider 3 Quad course under 39 seconds. And if this sounds familiar, that's because each corresponds exactly to the achievement requirements from the original Tomb Raider 2 and 3 Remastered pre-patch. Okay guys, this is something we've already accomplished almost 2 years back, but now I guess we're gonna get to do this again. The game has no way to check what achievements you unlocked. So let's dive into Tomb Raider 2's Lara's Home. Right from the get-go, I just want to make something clear. The fact that you cannot hear Lara talk is not a new bug. It's me. I turned off the in-game music for the purposes of this video, which is why you cannot hear her. Lara's lines are in fact in-game songs. Where there is a bug is that the subtitles will now never ever disappear from the screen unless we disable them completely. Anywho, I I see we are not alone. I would like to use this opportunity to say thanks to my loyal Winstons. Blank Goopel, Mick, Severin Drax, Enstickle, Katie Danger, Pooh the 2, Basic Branny, Bino, and Alex Clark. Thank you guys so much for prepping the Tomb Raider 2's Assault course. Let's ace this! And look who decided to pop for a visit and somewhat complicate things in the shooting range. So let me use this opportunity to thank my brave veteran Winstons, Andrea Pavilianiti, Alexander, and Richard Dearman. Thank you guys so much for your valiant support of the channel and for getting the Tomb Raider 3's Assault course prepped and ready. Thanks to you, we train hard but fight easy. And guess who we bumped into during our sprint for the racetrack key? Our caretaker Winstons. So let me use this opportunity to thank you guys properly. Karavetu, Renegade Durney, Blanket Fox, Jonathan Jones, Dig the Bee, PD92, and Akires. Thank you guys so much for your support of the channel and also for taking care of Lara's exotic fish. These beauties need some exotic care from you. When it comes to the quad bike race, I have only one piece of advice to give you: make sure to rev up the engine, and that is, when you mount it, hold the sprint key for handbrake, then keep holding the action key to let Lara rev up the engine, release the sprint key to get an initial speed boost. This is a big help, and then it all becomes about practicing to be able to squeeze into the tight corner shortcut. Let me show you. And with that out of the way, Lara's ready to walk out. However, she forgot whether she closed the freezer or not. Better go and check, Lara. Uh-oh. Well, I guess this is as good a time as any to say thanks to my fine vintage Winston, Akira Foxmind. Thank you so much for your incredibly long and generous support of the channel. Couldn't do it without you. And I also want to thank you for making sure that once Lara comes back from her outfit collecting adventure, you're gonna build her an entirely new wardrobe. She's gonna need it for all the outfits we are gonna unlock today. Now, with Winston being free and building our new wardrobe and all the conditions fulfilled, let's claim our Silver Speed Demon outfit. Just like I said before, whether it's a bronze, silver or gold variant of an outfit, it makes no difference whatsoever for the gameplay bonuses, just the cosmetics if you want to challenge yourself a little bit further, which is pretty neat. So, moving on to the Gold Speed Demon. Oh boy, does this look familiar again. So, this is exactly like the I only play for sport, I only play for sport still, and I only play for sport always. Running all 3 games again for a speedrun, which we've already accomplished almost 2 years ago, is a tall order, and if I was to do that, then this video would release sometime in June or July. So instead, I thought to myself, well, just like with the Temple of the Cat, the Nightmare in Vegas and the Reunion levels, we just need to reload those appropriate save files and kick the game in the pants to realize we've already done this. So I reloaded the Great Pyramid speedrun, finished the game, then I reloaded Home Sweet Home speedrun, finished the game, and then I reloaded the Meteorite Cavern speedrun, finished the game, came back to the main menu to check that the Golden Speed Demon is still bloody locked. This is frustrating, but guys, please do not despair, I found a way to do this. What if I was to tell you that all you need to do to unlock this one is in fact just finish the final level of each game in challenge mode, and the game is gonna think you've beat the entire game in that runtime you spent just with that level, and you're gonna be able to unlock this outfit. And rather than doing it now, let's put a pin in this, because we're gonna tackle the Great Pyramid, the Home Sweet Home, and the Meteorite Cavern levels for all sorts of different outfits today. The Established Explorer, the Mobster, and also Cooler Than Cool. Okay guys, so this is gonna be in fact the final outfit we are gonna unlock today. Moving on to the Tomb Raider 1 specific outfits, I would love to start with Paragon of Peace, an absolutely invaluable outfit that allows us to walk past enemies undisturbed, making for a really serene experience. The exception being bosses. Nevertheless, I was a bit surprised to find out that we have not unlocked the silver and gold variant via our Thames Wharf workaround. We did not fight any enemies, we did not get hurt, and we beat it on CR30, so why did these not unlock? And it seems the developers have put a couple of safeguards against cheesing into this patch when it comes to unlocking outfits. The wetsuit we'll unlock later on is another good example, but these don't apply to the achievements. It's a little bit odd. Nevertheless, the bronze version of Paragon of Peace is gonna easily allow us to unlock silver and gold in one go. However, unlocking the bronze one, as you can see, is not easy at all. The requirement is to complete the Colosseum level in challenge mode on CR20 without killing anyone. This also has the nice benefit of giving us the Untouchable achievement for exactly the same thing. So let me show you the ideal CR setup for this. Randomizer, all hands on deck, enemy damage 2050, enemy health 2050, no equipment or additional weapons, no unlimited air, Lara's regen disabled, our health being at the default 100%, but we want to use the Speed Demon ability. This is gonna give us the invaluable 10-second cooldown shield against any and all damage. And since today's run will be all about avoiding enemies, we won't even be able to kill bats. This is the ideal setup in my opinion. Right from the get-go, you'll notice in the top right corner of the screen the Hyper Shield icon. It's nice to have it there, however, it's a bit lazy in its implementation. When it's shining, it means it's active. When you get hit, it goes dark for 10 seconds with the Speed Demon outfits, and then it relights again. The problem is there are also other outfits with different cooldowns, namely 90-second long ones, and you just don't have any visual feedback to how close the cooldown is to resetting. There could have been the circle edge circling until it fills up fully to give you that visual feedback, but they just did the bare minimum here. Anyway, let's avoid all the animals and let's grab the large medpack in the mid row of this structure. All the medpacks you can get your hands on quickly, please pick them up. Health is gonna be our biggest concern here. And this, my friends, is where I recommend saving because you can get royally screwed. A bat appears on the other side of the cavern, and since we cannot kill any enemies, we need to allow the bat to fly to us and deal 250% damage. Good thing we have the shield on, and this time we got particularly lucky, but don't get used to that. You might need to even pop the medpack, but I recommend reloading and trying over until the bat deals less than 1/4 of damage to your health bar. Upon entering the Colosseum proper, you will have triggered the appearance of your greatest nemesis, Pierre, that litterbug. Make sure to ignore all the arena bloodworks and go straight for the spiky pit via falling down holding the action key. This will nudge Lara forward just beyond the spikes, and you have taken a nice shortcut to climbing the rocks to the Colosseum balcony. And now for quite easily the hardest part of the entire video. We need to climb the balcony, avoid all the wolves and gorillas, and push the block out twice. I considered squeezing in through the corner gap after pushing it just once, but that always resulted in me being trapped in one square with multiple animals. I don't recommend. Instead, push it out twice, and it always results in a roll of a dice how much damage you are gonna take. And please guys, don't bother with the small medpack inside. You're gonna take more damage picking that thing up. Just get in and get out as quickly as possible after saving and reloading constantly. Approaching a very sticky situation, Pierre is the main concern here. You can either wait for him to actually gradually enter the Colosseum entrance and then sprint past him, or if his back is turned, like in this particular situation, I just made for a run for it. We soaked a few bullets, but that is fine because we still have 100% despite the 250% enemy damage modifier. Inside this corner tower, make sure to trigger the secret, not because of the magnums, but 2 additional large medpacks inside, which are invaluable for soaking few additional shots from Pierre. And there we go, guys. So this was tough as nails, but hopefully it helped you unlock the Untouchable achievement and the Bronze Paragon of Peace outfit. This also marks the second level with CR rating 15 or above that we've completed, so we have 2 out of 3 points for the Raider of Tombs achievement. I wanted to show this run in its entirety because there's a lot to think about in terms of evasion of enemies and what pickups to focus on. Anyway, let's see what the outfit looks like. And there we go, Paragon of Peace Bronze. Enemies, except bosses, do not attack unless provoked. Enemies deal double damage. So bosses are double trouble despite everyone else leaving you in peace. It's an interesting counter value. Now the outfit itself honestly looks rather sad. The bronze color. That laurel on top of Lara's head needs to be gold, and we're gonna make it so. So looking at the silver and gold requirements, the silver asks us not to get hit during a challenge mode with CR 20 or higher. Again, we already technically completed this back in Thameswharf, but okay. Whereas the gold one also on top of this asks us not to hit any enemies, proving that we really are a Paragon of Peace. So guys, I have the perfect level for you, let's test this out on caves. So what we want is upscaling all hands on deck, 250, 250, and no additional weapons or equipment or unlimited air for those extra CR points. Where it's interesting is -5 HP Lara's degen. I originally thought that this is automatically gonna invalidate the unlock requirement for the silver and gold outfits because we are actively taking damage, but no, it doesn't. Only damage from enemies or environmental hazards will negate it. And since enemies are not a threat with the Paragon of Peace bronze outfit, well, all we have to worry about is not falling or not being hit via darts. Sidestepping as a loose tile is about to fall is one of my favorite Tomb Raider 1 glitches. Be on the lookout for seeing that again in today's video. And there we go, and as a little bonus we have unlocked Raider of Tombs since we beat the third CR15 plus level in our run. Also, I have to say, it's such a serene experience to walk through a level and see all the animals in their natural environment just hanging around and living and coexisting peacefully. I really recommend you trying this, and you get to appreciate the way the levels were built in a different way when you're not constantly harassed by monstrosities. Also guys, one little caveat, I'm not really sure about this, but occasionally when bats fly around and they come into contact with Lara despite not being hostile, it will automatically trigger blood particle effect. It does not decrease your health bar or end up dealing any damage to you or killing you, but it might invalidate the outfit unlock condition for silver and gold Paragon of Peace. So just be careful and make sure not to even touch a bat as it's flying around. Anyway, let's check the outfits out. And this, my friends, is what the Paragon of Peace was supposed to look like all along, especially the one on the right, the gold variety. It's not often I prefer the gold one, but in this case, absolutely. Now guys, we're not done with this outfit yet. Let's enjoy the gold variety and take it all the way to Atlantis. Yeah, as serene as caves were, Atlantis is gonna be more surreal. Anyway, the reason I want to do this is to unlock the Atlantean Bio-Armour. With one playthrough we can unlock bronze, silver and gold all together via clearing Atlantis on CR20 or higher, and there's no better method of doing this than with the Paragon of Peace outfit, so let's check the modifiers. The settings here are very simple, just increase the number of enemies to all hands on deck, increase their stats to 250 and not be bothered by them because they're not gonna attack us with Paragon of Peace, so let's begin. Right from the get-go, it is absolutely fascinating to see the eggs hatching, but none of these babies being actually hostile. What I find interesting is that despite us not applying any enemy type modifier, we still encounter the cryptid chaos enemies, the raptors and the bats. It doesn't make much sense to me. Nevertheless, completing Atlantis without being attacked and just experiencing the traps is such a fascinating experience, and this right here has to be my most favorite shot right at the beginning of the level. Just look at this madness happening here. Anywho, working through all the traps, I recommend trying to do this without saving and loading. Just try to overcome all traps of Atlantis in one go. I promise you it's gonna be worth it. All it takes is to climb to the top of the pyramid and reach for the piece of the Skion to unlock all 3 Atlantean Bio-Armour outfits, so let's take a look at them. Now, what I originally imagined was some fleshy, sinewy abomination like from Sabatu's Atlantean armor expansion to Tomb Raider 1, but no, in fact what we get is a beautiful glimpse into Atlantean fashion before Natla messed everything up with her experiments. So this is really neat, and I have to say I even like the bronze outfit with the dark tiara. It's pretty interesting, but the silver and golden one make the runes on Lara's skirt glow a little bit more. So the ability of these outfits is lifesteal. Damage dealt heals Lara for the double amount, but medpacks do not work on her. This promotes a very aggressive playstyle and would be the perfect outfit for enemy crowded Tomb Raider 2 levels. And unfortunately, we hit the point again I made earlier in this video. Why can't we use this outfit across all 3 games? Why are they just locked into their respective game? You only get to use this wonderful outfit in Tomb Raider 1 levels. Why such a huge wasted potential? Nevertheless, talking about Tomb Raider 1 levels, we have one Tomb Raider 1 outfit still to unlock, and that is the Established Explorer. Here we are asked to beat the Great Pyramid level on CR 5, 10 or 15. Going directly for 15 will unlock Bronze, Silver and Gold, and the way we can pull this off via the challenge menu is first of all setting our own health to 25%, but using the Speed Demon outfit with its precious shield ability that saved our buttocks back in the Colosseum. Furthermore, we don't want to do anything with the equipment or unlimited air, we don't need to poison Lara for this one, we still want some semblance of health, but this allows us to set the enemy health to just 75%, which is very important because playing the game Pyramid on challenge mode means using pistols to take down the Torso boss and Natla, and I don't want to be here until I grow old. Furthermore, we can set enemy damage to 250, we want as many enemies as possible for all hands on deck, except the two bosses, we're gonna outrun all of them pretty much, and we want to set the enemy type to Cryptid Chaos, not just for 5 extra CR points, but this makes the level in fact easier, because a lot of the mutants are gonna turn into bats, raptors, panthers, that sort of thing, which are just easier to take down. So I don't understand why this increases our CR rating, but in the Great Pyramid level I really recommend this. Furthermore, beating a 10 plus CR level with this modifier on will give us the first point of progression towards the top of the food chain achievement, which asks us to beat CR 10 levels with the Atlantean, Cryptid, Mutant, and Mob Mobilization modifiers, and this is gonna be our first point for the Cryptids. It is also gonna give us the first point of progression towards unlocking the Gold Speed Demon outfit, because the game is gonna assume that we've beaten Tomb Raider 1 in the entire time it took us to beat just the Great Pyramid level. So with this in mind, let's begin a tough fight. There's no way around this, you just have to grind your teeth and take down the Torso boss with your pistols. Thankfully we managed to squeeze in within the CR15 rating that 75% health modifier, and this doesn't just apply to bosses, but all the enemies in this level, which will become very important early on. I was originally really caught off guard by these two raptors in this corridor, but then I remembered they cannot move through slippery slopes, so thankfully the day was saved. Remembering that all enemies have decreased health, I just decided to get the Panther out of the way, and here I used my favorite glitch with the loose tile, remembering that the shield does not protect us from falling damage. Let's shoot the ski on, escape from the bloodthirsty raptors, and move on to the trap gauntlet. When it comes to these darts, these are the main reason I decided to use the Speed Demon for this particular run, because each time we get hit, we can just wait for the shield to refresh within 10 seconds and move on to the next dart, or occasionally you'll get very lucky and avoid the dart altogether. But the shield, especially with the short Speed Demon cooldown, is the perfect tool to avoid messing up here. Furthermore, be on the lookout for a bat appearing on the other side of the abyss. I always forget that this is a new addition with the Cryptid Chaos, and that bat ends up obliterating me as I try to shimmy to grab the two large medipacks. Afterwards, it's a run through all too familiar gauntlet. I still wanted to prove to myself that I still got it, which is incredibly satisfying, and now for the fight with the Queen of Atlantis herself, Natla. With pistols, but with 75% health. sliding down to victory one more time, knowing there's no unfinished business expansion following. We get to see the stats screen and know that we've unlocked not just the established Explorer outfits, but also made progress for top of the food chain via the Cryptid's modifier, and also fulfilled one of the 3 conditions for the golden version of the Speed Demon outfit. So, talking about outfits, let's check out the established Explorer ones. So, it seems environmental hazards deal only half the damage, and there's also reduced fall damage, although it doesn't really say by how much, which is a bit of a bummer. Honestly guys, I would love to see an outfit that completely eliminates falling damage. That would be a fascinating way to explore levels, but just reducing it, again, it feels like they were holding back, and also this outfit can again only be used in Tomb Raider 1. Good for speedrunners of Tomb Raider 1, but for everyone else, I don't know. I would love to see these abilities apply to Tomb Raider 2, Tomb Raider 3, even 4 and 5, but it wasn't meant to be. But anyway, about the outfits themselves and how they look, I have to say my favorite is bronze this time. The silver and gold lining just don't really belong here. I can kind of tolerate it on top of the head, but otherwise, I don't know, something's off there. Bronze is definitely my favorite here. Anywho guys, that almost wraps up Tomb Raider 1, at least it does outfits, but we have one job to do here, and that is, we need to use the Atlantean Advancements modifier for top of the food chain achievement. Now there are only few levels in Tomb Raider 1 that really allow this, but I want to make this memorable, so I'm gonna go with the Lost Valley. All we have to ensure here is we have the Atlantean Advancements modifier on for the achievement and the CR10 or higher. I achieved this with all hands on deck setting, which is also gonna make things more fun. Enemy damage, on one hand I don't care about because I want to use Paragon of Peace, but on the other, this level has not one, but we'll have 2 bosses this time. So I wanted to keep this as low as possible, and 125 was what it resulted in. Enemy health, don't care about at all. I don't want to kill anything or anyone in this level. No changes to the equipment, Lara's region or her health, and let's just make absolutely sure we have the Paragon of Peace outfit on. That will, however, not mean this is gonna be easy. Oh no. Now right from the get-go, let's do a swan dive for old time's sake. But on our way to the Lost Valley, where we just want to get our hands on the 3 cogwheels, let's stop by the large medpack dropped by the dead adventurer over here. They gave their life so that we can escape the horrors of the Lost Valley. You'll see what I mean. Now our old buddy T-Rex over here is hardly a surprise, but he now deals 25% more damage, and because we're wearing the Paragon of Peace outfit, all enemies deal more damage, and this stacks, so stay the hell away. Anyway, let's pick up the first cogwheel, and then we need to make a sprint, figuratively speaking, to the Temple of the Lost Valley and not get crushed by T-Rex, and that's sometimes easier said than done. After getting the second wheel, the journey outside of the temple is relatively safe, but notice what's gonna happen the moment we cross this bridge. Picking up the third cogwheel is where the trouble starts. We need to get down there and somehow outrun both bloody T-Rexes with their extra damage modifier and us having weakness to them because of the Paragon of Peace outfit stacked on top of one another. This is why I emphasized picking up that large medpack, and this is similar to the block pulling in the Colosseum level, roll over the dice. If it proves impossible, make sure to get more medpacks than I did, but I am determined to do it with just the one. And there we go, we've earned our second point for top of the food chain achievement. A bit of an overkill, I admit, but I really wanted to say goodbye to Tomb Raider 1 for now in style. Anywho, I'm very excited because we're about to move to my most favorite Tomb Raider game ever made, Tomb Raider 2. Ironically, what we're about to take a look at is Tough as Nails outfit to unlock fully, because bronze, silver, gold each have a completely different unlock requirement, need to be unlocked separately. Getting gold first does not unlock silver automatically, and also both require you to unlock the bronze first. So let me explain. Complete the 40 Fathoms level in challenge mode with all hands on deck, enemy damage 150 and CR 5 or higher. Honestly guys, this isn't too bad. I'm also happy to see that 40 Fathoms is getting some love. And I know, everyone but me absolutely despises this level. I don't know what's wrong with me, I actually quite like it, although I might change my opinion after what we'll have to do for gold one. Anywho, let's just focus on bronze. Speed Demon is gonna be our saving grace in this one, with its shield ability allowing us to do plenty of mistakes as we're actually practicing for gold. The mission here is to keep the enemy types as they are, increase their numbers to all hands on deck as per the requirement, and set enemy damage to 150. Notice I have also increased enemy health to 150, and this increased our CR rating to 10. You don't have to do this, however, I am making it intentionally harder on ourselves so that we're ever closer to the requirements for gold. Otherwise, the shock value of replaying the level again with new modifiers might be too much to bear. Use this opportunity to learn where all the new enemies spawn so that they are not gonna catch you off guard later. So let me give you a rundown of all the new enemy spawns. After outrunning all the sharks, when making it to the flooded storage area to empty the water, make sure to watch out for the guy that appears on the ledge, keep jumping back whilst hitting him with pistols, and eventually you'll bring him down. Annoying but safe way to avoid taking any damage, which is incredibly important. Before diving into the pit with the shotgunner, make sure to dispatch the new dog that appears there, and after dispatching the shotgunner, make sure to pick up the shotgun he drops. It's loaded with 2 shotgun shells that will be invaluable for the final encounter in the level. You can use the upper area to dispatch the clubber and the shotgunner down below, however the shotgunner can occasionally snipe you from there. So my priority would be to dispatch him, or if possible the clubber, and once you only face one enemy, make it down below. Make sure that the clubber dies in a reachable area, because he will drop the one and only small medpack of the level, and there are going to be no large medpacks. This is going to be incredibly important. Finally, another clubber will appear here. With 150 health you can bring him down in time, but we're gonna have to adopt a slightly different strategy in the gold run. Then moving on, ignoring all the secret levers, we are gonna dispatch a couple of rats, but entering this corridor is needed to be done extremely carefully. A flamethrower wielder and a dog will appear, one covering for the other. Honestly, if at all possible, prioritize taking down the dog and then deal with the flamethrower wielder separately, using the corners across the hallways to always side flip as he's about to fire his flamethrower. You cannot roll behind flamethrower wielders. Even if they're not facing you, their flame will start spewing backwards to hit you. It auto follows Lara, doesn't work like with enemies equipped with guns. Another unexpected spawn, when climbing up here, AK Rifleman and a clubber will spawn down below. I recommend getting down immediately after triggering them, dispatching the Rifleman first, and then having privacy to deal with the clubber without having him smack you upside down. As you're progressively pulling more and more levers, more and more rats will start appearing across the floor. Honestly, especially with the Speed Demon shield, don't worry about them, don't waste your time, or you can even dispatch them as you're moving around. On gold, we'll probably end up ignoring them altogether. Now I recommend taking down this barracuda as you make it into the water to lure it out before you swim inside. We don't have a harpoon gun, you cannot get a harpoon gun outside of having the new wetsuit equipped, so you cannot dispatch it once you're trapped inside with it, and it can deal ridiculous amounts of damage to you. Now I recommend pulling this block twice after dispatching the rats, because up there is an AK rifleman waiting to land potshots at you. Rather than initiating a slow climbing animation giving rats and him plenty of time to obliterate you, jump back and use the sliding platform to make it there immediately, and run as fast as you can behind him to roll and take him down from the back. Be mindful where you step though, because of the rats. After triggering the explosion, one of the openings is safe to press a lever in, the other will have a surprise clubber. Make sure to use the awkward environment to force him to climb all the time, giving you plenty of time to fully dispatch him. Now the penultimate obstacle is the diver. Again, at this point we have no harpoon gun, so all we can do is swim around the room in an upward spiral making large circles, and this eventually forces him to come out for air. Make sure to climb. The speed demon shield will nicely protect you from the first 1 or 2 harpoons he's gonna fire. Then you need to be careful to take careful aim at him from the corners of the corridor. And finally guys, this is what we've been saving up that small medipack for, the only medipack of the level, this absolute nightmare encounter. And this again is a point where you just need to save, refill your health and hope for the best. As soon as you climb down, prioritize the shotgunner while somehow trying to avoid the clubber. This is incredibly difficult, but remember, we picked up a shotgun from the first shotgunner we encountered. Use this to bring down the final shotgunner very quickly. And then, once it's just you and the clubber, circle around the room using the small tiny pool square as an obstacle for him to have to circle around to eventually wear him and bring him down. And my friends, we did it. If this seemed difficult, wait until you get to gold, but we have nevertheless unlocked the bronze Ahab approved outfit. Let's take a look at it. Lara starts with a harpoon gun. Harpoon gun does more damage, shoots faster, and starts with 100 harpoons. Lara has 50% more air whilst underwater. It's a shame they didn't upgrade the harpoon gun so you don't need to reload it, but this is still fine. Honestly, the whole outfit seems custom designed to unlock the golden Ahab approved outfit. This one asks us to defeat all sharks on the 40 fathoms level in challenge mode with all hands on deck and enemy damage to 250 and enemy health to 250 and CR 12 or higher. Guys, wanna know something funny? This matches nicely the Megalodon't achievement description, which is why we are now gonna tackle both the achievement unlock and getting the golden Ahab approved outfit. I'm actually leaving silver for last, which will make sense a bit later on. I also want to clarify something. The achievement and the challenge description both say just defeat the sharks and you're good. No, you need to defeat the sharks and still finish the level. However, what if I was to tell you that sharks are the least of your problems? They're the easiest thing about this. Imagine everything we've been through to unlock bronze, but with 250. Yeah, it's gonna get bad. Anyway, let me show you just how bad in the challenge mode menu. This is very straightforward. We are not going to change the enemy type, but we will increase their numbers to the maximum via all hands on deck. We are also going to raise their stats to max to 250 for both. We are not going to change the additional weapons, equipment or air. However, all of these are affected via the Ahab approved outfit, giving us 50% increase in the oxygen bar and giving us a harpoon gun loaded with 100 shots. That seems like a lot, but we'll need to make each one of them count. And finally, no changes to Lara's health whatsoever. Let's do this. So just like before, right from the get-go we need to turn around and swim towards the actual wreck of Maria Doria. On our way there, we are gonna encounter 2 sharks spawned by default. Now, I used to think about this as swimming and was terrible at actually killing them with a harpoon, until I started thinking about this as flying. Imagine 2 airplanes chasing one another, trying to hit their tail, and then it all just clicked. Think of this like fighting whilst in the air, and I don't know, for me, I had an easier time taking both sharks down at that point. Then, when you're done, make sure to go for a rebreather, but accessing the actual hull of the Maria Doria triggers the appearance of a third shark outside. So once your oxygen bar is full, go back out, but be very careful. That guy, depending on his mood, can already be inside this very tight corridor, and that can spell your doom. Instead, let's try to catch him whilst he's outside and again go for another dogfight and another rebreather. This is where I recommend that you save your game. Following this, there are 2 more sharks we need to eliminate in the starting area that I had no idea ever existed. I even checked the Tomb Raider viewer utility, I found nothing. Instead, what you have to do, and this has something to do with the all hands on deck modifier, you need to swim opposite the entrance of the Maria Doria hull and go forward, 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 and as you approach that corner of the ocean floor, you will trigger the appearance of a shark. His appearance sometimes catches me off guard and he appears inside me and immediately insta-kills me, so be very careful. Then make it back for another rebreather, and honestly, without the Ahab approved outfit's 50% oxygen increase, we would not be able to pull this off in time. 1 more shark remaining. Let's again leave this narrow corridor, but this time turn left as we exit and go towards that corner of the ocean floor. Again, from the deep rocks, another shark should instantly appear, kill him like you did the others, and then victoriously make it back for yet another rebreather. The important thing is that before proceeding further into the level, you have landed 5 shark kills. Excellent. Now there are 2 more sharks to bring down, but until then, we need to again re-encounter some old friends from our bronze run. So let the footage roll. Now, despite doing exactly what the achievement and the challenge both said, and killing the final shark under these conditions, neither the achievement or the outfit unlocked. We indeed need to finish 40 fathoms. So let the carnage continue.
John. I'm tired. Give a girl a break.
And so am I, Lara, so am I. But it was worth it. Megalodon't achievement has unlocked, and we have another outfit in our collection. This time, let's take a look at it. It seems to be a golden variant of the same swimsuit. Honestly, I preferred the bronze version again without all those golden stripes, but I guess it's a matter of preference. Now guys, we're not done with the wetsuit yet. We have the silver Ahab approved to unlock. And this one is something completely different. It is also tied to Fish Out of Water achievement, and both ask us to complete a CR10 level in a wetsuit without entering water. This, however, is where the unlock condition for the outfit and achievement differ, not in their description, but in their programmed logic. See, you can unlock this achievement pretty much in any level as long as you do exactly this. However, there are a couple of levels I tested this on where the outfit didn't unlock despite the achievement, yes, and I finally think I figured it out. The level itself needs to have some water in it. You will not get away with playing through just a dry level without entering water. It needs to be a level where there is water, and that's gonna give you not just the achievement, but also the outfit. And I am thinking about doing something reckless. How about we combine this outfit's unlock conditions with the Master Mobster? Bronze, silver, and gold have the same unlock conditions. The only difference is the target CR and the target's enemy statistics. So let's ramp it up for gold and set everything to 220 and all hands on deck. This is another opportunity to also use the Mobster's modifier in the challenge mode menu. So with all this set up like this, let's unlock 4 outfits and an achievement in one row. Guys, this is gonna be difficult. Home Sweet Home is special in that you are gonna appear without any weapon. Even though we are using the wetsuit, we're not gonna appear with a harpoon gun. We're just gonna have to use the ammunition that's available in the level. And given how tough the enemies are, consumption is something we'll need to be watching out for closely. Now be careful when moving inside your own closet not to step too far on that side, because despite being here, an enemy that appears on Lara's balcony after picking up the shotgun can already kill you. So, let's save the game and let the carnage begin. Now the moment we slay the 10th mobster, it's time to catch your breath, recover your health, and get ready. First of all, I want to make something very clear. The way to actually beat the level is to land a certain number of kills. It's not to actually defeat the final boss, the cold guy. He's not even gonna appear here for whatever reason. And the strange thing is, I assumed you need to land 16 kills. But this time, it seems even less is required, and that might have something to do with modifiers. The moment we land our 14th kill, the level's gonna end. Your experience might, however, vary, and I unfortunately don't know what it depends on, but hopefully these strategies will see you to victory. And what I mean by that is the step leading to the attic staircase that only the melee clubbers can overcome. Watch this. Climbing the rails like monkeys, these guys are desperate to get inside. Now, depending on the roll of the dice, you might even see some Tibet enemies, the ones with full automatics. That's gonna be problematic. I've also caught a glimpse of a flamethrower guy through the window, so whoever comes first, we need to finish off quickly and rack up that kills count to trigger the level end. The actual army assaulting you with these modifiers is much larger than what you need to kill in order to finish the level.
Don't you think you've seen enough?
And with the shotgun ringing in my ears, we've just managed to pull off something incredible. We unlocked fish out of water, we also got a point, the 3rd out of 4 for the top of the food chain with the mobsters modifier, and we have achieved the 2nd point of progression to unlocking the Speed Demon Gold. Yep, the game thinks we've now beaten Tomb Raider 2 in those almost 6 minutes it took us to beat Home Sweet Home. But I think it's time to take a look at Lara's new wardrobe. Starting with Ahab approved silver. I do think silver is the perfect kind of lining for this kind of outfit, and this might just be my favorite. But let us take a look at the 3 Master Mobster outfits and their unique ability. And I'll be honest, this one needs that tasteless golden blink, and it matches the yellow tie perfectly, so it has to be gold, the winner for the 3 of these. Now, when it comes to the unique ability of this outfit, it says Lara gets a stronger shotgun. Shotgun shoots faster and does more damage, and shotgun starts with 50 bullets. On one hand, shotgun is a much better weapon than the harpoon, but shotgun we can get via the challenge menu modifiers anyway, so this is not all that exciting, but shooting it faster and pumping it faster is actually the exciting part about this. And I think what would be the best way to put this into practice would be to use the Master Mobster outfit for the next challenge, with which we'll wrap up Tomb Raider 2. And I'm talking about the Dragon Warrior outfit. So we're gonna again unlock bronze, silver and gold in one run. It requires that we complete the Dragon's Lair level in challenge mode on CR 15 or higher. So a lot of freedom how we can set this up. This is about to be one of the easiest challenges today. So let's set everything up to be comfortable. First of all, I find that again, upscaling is just free 8 CR points and doesn't really do a whole lot. So let's get this in, and leaving our enemies with 25 extra % health and damage is enough to turn this into CR 16, so above 15 even. With Master Mobster and an extremely powerful shotgun, we should have nothing to fear. Right from the get-go, let's pick up that large medpack because the door will eventually close behind us, and let's see what that shotgun looks like. It's identical, but we do have those 50 shots. Now, this is all the ammunition we are gonna have for this level. use it to defeat all the mobs before the final boss fight, starting with the Jade Warriors. It is immensely satisfying to see how quickly we can dispatch them with a shotgun. It is indeed more powerful than what we're used to, and this is despite them having 25% extra health. Guys, I think it's time to play some music. And that's how Lara became the head of the local mob. All it took was killing a dragon. But anyway, what we are interested in is to see the 3 new Dragon Warrior outfits and their unique ability. And this one's the Mobster Master up to 11. Rather than a shotgun, it seems Lara is immune to fire and starts with a stronger grenade launcher. Grenade launcher shoots faster and deals more damage. And she starts with 100 bullets. Why are they calling it bullets? It should be grenades. Anyway, semantics aside, let's take a look at what the outfits actually look like. And guys, it's gotta be the golden one. That's the only one that really makes sense here. And I have to say, I'm thinking of a best opportunity to use this outfit. I think I'm gonna treat myself towards the end of today's video. Nevertheless, that marks the end of all Tomb Raider 2 outfits, and we went out with a bang saying goodbye to Marco Bartoli. So now Let's move on to Tomb Raider 3, which I'm happy to say is the easiest of the three. Never thought I'd ever be saying Tomb Raider 3 is the easiest, but as far as challenge mode is concerned, absolutely. And that's because all the remaining 3 Tomb Raider 3 outfits just require you to finish a level each on a certain CR rating with no other special unlock conditions. So let's start with Nevada's Flying High, which asks us to complete Area 51 on CR 5 or higher for bronze, CR 10 on silver or CR 15 on gold. This might seem tough because Area 51 is a tougher level. However, looking at the challenge menu, you'll find out that all you need to raise the CR to the appropriate level is just to increase the enemy health and damage to 125%. That's it. On top of that, we will be able to use the Speed Demon outfit with its Hyper Shield, which ironically is the only outfit we can currently use in Tomb Raider 3, so this is just gonna be a pistols run with slightly tougher enemies, but us having the Hyper Shield on 10-second cooldown. Let's go. Now, because we are dealing with slightly tougher enemies here and using only pistols, you'll soon find out that you do not have enough time to actually bring them down before they're able to block off the storage areas. This is gonna happen twice at the beginning, very annoying, but that's fine. We're gonna do this pistols only, with one exception for which I'm gonna collect a shotgun and shotgun shells. You will also notice me sprinting whilst using the Speed Demon outfit, and in Tomb Raider 3 specifically, it has the unique ability of removing stamina bar. So you can sprint indefinitely, and this is an awesome addition to Tomb Raider 3 levels, especially for speedrunners. Now again, I just wish this would re-enable sprinting for Tomb Raider 1 and 2. A guy can dream. Anyway guys, let me play some good music for this level. And so ends the longest challenge of the challenge mode. Honestly guys, this was a walk in the park compared to everything we've been through before. It's a nice place to relax, honestly. Never thought I'd be saying that about Area 51, but here we are. Nevertheless, let's take a closer look at the 3 new outfits we've unlocked. So if you ever wanted to see what Lara would look like flying one of those fighter jets of Nevada, this is your chance. I'll be honest guys, I have a hard time believing Lara would ever put on anything with an American flag. She's way too British for that. But here we are, I guess it's a peek into an alternate universe. Not particularly excited about this outfit, but out of the 3 I have to say I prefer the bronze one more because it's the darkest aviator shades. The others are more silver and gold tinted, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Anyway, as it pertains to this outfit's ability, listen to this. Lara's health is increased by 25%. Without affecting your CR rating, which is excellent. Lara also has hyper armor that ignores first damage of an attack, 90-second cooldown, so the same shield ability that Speed Demon has. However, rather than having 10-second cooldown, we have a minute-and-a-half cooldown. That is really long. But Lara also starts with Bare Necessities ammo pack. In case you're wondering what that is 1 large, 1 small med pack and 2 flares. Yep, that's it. And of course pistols and your stopwatch or compass. So nothing to write home about. However, this makes it the perfect outfit for the next challenge taking place in everyone's favorite Lud's Gate to unlock the Honorary Damned. So for this one, we need to finish Lud's Gate on CR5 for bronze, CR10 for silver and CR15 for gold. And I'm gonna show you a way to do it, but health preservation is key here in case you want to speedrun Lud's Gate like I'm gonna show you, so Flying High outfit is gonna be the perfect choice here. When it comes to the challenge menu settings, upscaling is our trusted friend at this point. Does absolutely nothing and gives us 8 extra CR, at least not from what I've seen in the level so far. Let's leave the enemy numbers as they are and increase enemy damage to 250, but we can thankfully get away with enemy health at just 200%, which is still a lot, but the reason I don't want 250 is that there's one enemy I'd like to take down with a very limited harpoon gun ammunition via the underwater propulsion vehicle. No changes to Lara's health or inventory whatsoever, and having the Flying High outfit, seems I chose gold here for whatever reason, let's get into it. At the very beginning I always like to check if we really have the bare necessities pack, and yeah, that's our unimpressive inventory. Also, you'll see a familiar icon at the top right corner of the screen with the shield. Just keep in mind, minute-and-a-half long cooldown. Nevertheless, to get through this level quickly, let's actually use the secret entrance to the left over here, and then we are gonna be able to do one of the coolest skips in the entire game. For this, it's important to set Lara up. You need to have her back against the wall here, facing that little spiky fence, and rather than making 2 steps forward continuously, you need to make 1 step forward, stop, and then make another step forward and stop. And this is a perfect setup to then try initiating another step forward, during which you need to jump, and for a little extra effect I decided to do a swan dive. This can take a little bit of practice, but once you learn this, you will also learn the useful ability of being able to execute running jumps from very short distance. Now you will notice the absence of enemies, including the guard with the boiler room key. I have a workaround planned for that, and the diver doesn't really pay attention to us, which is to our advantage, because this means the secret with the UPV is not closed. Now I want to say something important here. The crystal is bugged, you cannot pick it up, not that it matters, but get the med pack and also grab every single bundle of harpoons you see on the ground. We are gonna use these to kill a particularly annoying crocodile with 200% health. Now say hello to the divers. They'll be our constant companions through this run, which is why I took the emphasis of having those med packs and using the Fly High outfit. Because we have extra 25% health, we'll have to soak up a lot of damage. The sheet is definitely going to be helpful for this. Now as soon as we enter the water labyrinth, make sure to use those 12 harpoons to dispatch the crocodile, and this is the reason why I didn't want to set the enemy health to 250 but just 200. With that, 12 harpoons should be just about enough to take this beast down and go for a well-earned breather. And guys, unfortunately you have to go do the underwater maze properly to open the trapdoor leading outside into the boiler room. So what I'm at least gonna do for you is consider this a refresher in your own run, but I'm gonna speed things up a little, so we're gonna do this a bit faster. And now guys, here we are in the boiler room. Without the boiler room key, what are we to do? Well, for those of you who are not in the know, let me introduce you to the infamous UPV flying glitch, and it's actually incredibly easy to pull off. What you need to do is go underwater whilst controlling the UPV again and face a wall. When facing the wall, you need to start hammering the swim or the jump key to make sure Lara keeps nudging herself forward and initiates the swimming animation. But just keep pressing it, not holding it. And whilst you're pressing the swim key, you need to start pressing and holding for a little while the roll key to dismount. And you will either do this unsuccessfully and Lara will actually dismount, which is not what we want to do, or what you'll notice is that Lara's oxygen bar will stop depleting. And that marks the point where you successfully triggered the UPV flying glitch. Now, the game cannot decide if Lara is or isn't using UPV, and that means that if you go to the water surface, Lara will keep swimming above water surface and essentially flying through the level. We can now use the UPV almost as a jet engine that somehow doesn't burn Lara into a crisp to fly into the elevator shaft and use the ventilation grate to enter Sapphire's Lee's office and trigger the level end. And this, my friends, is the fastest way I know of completing Glad's Gate whilst avoiding almost all the enemies. Of course, it comes down to you if you want to kill the crocodile or not. I showed you a way that I consider the most convenient. Whilst controlling UPV, the crocodile actually cannot hurt you, but he will constantly follow you, and whenever you dismount to pull a lever or pick up the small medpack, he will devour you. So be extremely careful, especially since the enemies have that 250% damage. Anywho, let's check out the Honorary Damned outfits. And if you ever wanted to see Lara as a punk girl, I have good news for you. This is an excellent outfit. One thing I feel is really missing from it to give it that punk something is fishnets, but otherwise this is great. And it's gotta be the silver as my favorite. Also, never thought I wanted to see Lara with a choker, but now I absolutely do. So when it comes to the abilities, this kind of mimics the invulnerability of the Damned Gang in Old Witch, and the idea is that you have a passive health regen ability. That is, your health slowly refills constantly. However, it also has the disadvantage of, I guess, Lara's flesh decomposing and her having just half her maximum health. So it's interesting, but honestly this seems gameplay-wise like a more boring version of the Atlantean Bio-Armour. That one promoted an aggressive playstyle. This one is just hide and wait until your health refills more. But thankfully I know about a perfect challenge to use the Honorary Damned outfit in. And that is the final outfit we're gonna unlock in the challenge mode, Cooler Than Cool. This asks us to complete the Meteorite Cavern in challenge mode on CR3 or higher for bronze, CR6 or higher for silver, and CR9 or higher for gold. This, my friends, is gonna be really interesting because we're also gonna apply the Mutant Mayhem modifier to finally unlock the 4th point of Top of the Food Chain achievement, and also completing Meteorite Cavern will finally give us the Speed Demon Gold outfit, because the game will assume we've beaten Tomb Raider 3 within the required time. But let me take us to the challenge mode menu. I still can't get over the fact that Meteorite Cavern is not the final Antarctica listed level here. That's all hollows, but anyway, I understand it follows after if you get all secrets. So, focusing on the most important thing, we want to enable Mutant Mayhem. We are gonna get 4 extra CR points. Remember, we're just aiming for 9 for the gold requirement. We don't actually want to increase the number of enemies, but we want to increase the enemy damage and health to 125%. Given that we'll be using pistols, this is gonna make the Willard boss fight especially tedious and an endurance test. But doing this, we are at CR10, especially since we decreased Lara's health to 50%, and it's decreased further via the virtue of us using the Honorary Damned, so she's at 25% health or something like that. For Willard, this doesn't really matter because 1 hit is all that's needed to actually kill us, but it will create problems for the mutant enemies we'll encounter in second half of the level. But that's where the health regen ability is going to be useful, and a particular technique I have in mind. Let's do this. Now guys, this isn't difficult, but it is an endurance test, an absolute torture considering Willard has 25% extra health. I do recommend you save after picking up every artifact just so you don't have to repeat the whole damn thing should you make a small mistake, but I decided to record all this in one take just to challenge myself, and I think it looks rather cool. Nevertheless, I am intentionally speeding the footage up because this would otherwise take forever. This is 6 times faster footage and it is still taking long. If you don't want to put up with this, you can of course outrun Willard via the method I explained in one of my earlier videos for the speedrun. I will provide a link in the description below should you have no patience for this, but I recommend taking the more safer, longer path of actually defeating Willard. Nevertheless, I'll see you when we defeat Willard. Now that that's over, let's climb out of the cavern, and I'm gonna skip straight ahead to this icy tunnel over here. So guys, this is gonna be our home away from home for a while, because you might be thinking, well, Zolgaris just outrun all the enemies and reach the helicopter. True, that could work, provided we wouldn't have to wait absolutely forever for the helicopter to land and the door to open, by which point the enemies will always obliterate us. So instead, we're gonna defeat everyone here, and the way we're gonna do that is via pulling them, landing a few pot shots, and hiding in the safety of this ice corridor. Not only does it keep us safe, but also the Honorary Damned outfit will recover any damage we take eventually whilst we're hiding in this corridor. This is why I picked this outfit, and I think for this strategy it's kind of perfect. This would be much easier if we wouldn't apply the Mutant Mayhem modifier, but you can, for example, apply it instead for your Thames Wolf workaround. It actually does work for achievements, but where would be the fun in that? So I made it a little bit difficult, but wanted to show you that it's still possible. Yeah, Lara has had enough. She has her new clothes and she's gonna bring them home. Anyway guys, congrats, you've unlocked top of the food chain. The most confusing achievement because the description doesn't make it clear you need to use all 4 modifiers, but we've now accomplished that. You can absolutely use Mutant Mayhem and the Cryptid Chaos via the Thames Wolf workaround, but the Atlantean advancements and the mob mobilization you're gonna have to do the old-fashioned way, like I've shown you. Anywho guys, we have unlocked all 3 cooler than cool outfits, but the stats screen shows that we have unlocked 4. What's up with that? Let me show you. Now I'll be honest guys, I don't know what they were thinking with this one. What an absolute letdown. Lara looks positively yassified. I'm not feeling it. If I had to choose my favorite out of these 3, it would be the silver one, but otherwise, this doesn't look like Lara at all. I mean, I feel I've been pretty generous with all the outfits so far, and I know all of them have incredibly blurry textures, but I could see at least the design behind them, what they could be if they looked just a little bit sharper, but this one, I'm not feeling it. Nevertheless, let's look at the rather interesting ability that this outfit has, because that's where its strengths lie. So first of all, there is no cold status effect. This is just Tomb Raider 3 relevant ability, but that's the only game we can use this in, meaning you can go for a swim in Antarctica and not suffer from hyperthermia. It reduces a lot of the anxiety around that mechanic, so that's pretty cool. You are, ironically, not just immune to cold, but also to burning effect. This is really interesting, and I again wish we could use this in Tomb Raider 1. Imagine getting through the Palace Midas Fire Challenge with this outfit on. Why limiting them like this? I just don't understand. And finally, we've already seen this, Lara has a hyper armor that ignores first damage of an attack, 90-second cooldown, just like Flying High outfit. So Speed Demon is the superior hyper armor one. So guys, there's 3 outfits for Tomb Raider 3, 3 outfits for Tomb Raider 2, 3 outfits for Tomb Raider 1, and 1 outfit to rule them all, the Speed Demon, that you can use across all games. Now, we have unlocked 4 outfits, and like I said before, finishing the final level of each game will convince the challenge mode that you've completed the game in the required time to unlock the Golden Speed Demon. And I have to say, this one is pretty cool. Now, do I prefer the bronze or the gold one? It has to be the bronze one, honestly, when it comes to the Speed Demon, but I'm so glad that we found a way to unlock it without having to complete all 3 games all over again. And you can use this method too. Provided they patch it in the future, hopefully not, this seems like one of the bugs that's actually very beneficial, especially for those of us who have already completed these challenges. Now guys, I have not forgotten about the final achievement we have to unlock. Walk in the park. Yes, I've intentionally kept this one for the grand finale because I wanted to treat myself. Now you don't need my help with this one, I know, but we've been suffering through so many debuffs, so many disadvantages, modifiers, that I think it's just appropriate for us to now turn those modifiers against our enemies and have a bit of fun. So this one allows us to set Lara's HP to 500%, give her unlimited air, and have her fully stocked modifiers on. These are the 3 modifiers you need to have, but you can add all sorts of others on top of that for even more fun. Now, when they say fully stocked, what they mean is giving you either Magnums, Automatics, or Desert Eagle, shotgun across all 3 games, and Uzis across all 3 games. They don't actually mean giving you the other weapons in Tomb Raider 2 or 3. Nevertheless, I want to have fun with this one, so we are absolutely putting on the Golden Dragon Warrior outfit to have some grenade launcher fun, and I know of a particular gang of morons I would like to enact my revenge upon. So guys, congratulations, you have unlocked every single outfit in bronze, silver and gold variety and every single achievement. So how was it? Let me know in the comment section. Was it helpful? More importantly, did you come up with even better strategies than I have? Heck, you probably have. There are so many ways to tackle everything, which is part of the fun bit of puzzle. At the same time, I can't help but feel sadness and sorrow about this update, not just because of the new introduced bugs, but even the missed potential of what it could be. Heck, why are all outfits except for Speed Demon locked into separate games? Why can't we mix and match them? Also, why can't Speed Demon be the outfit that brings sprinting to Tomb Raider 1 and 2, something I was wishing for so much back when the remasters were even announced? Why can't we use Tomb Raider 2's grenade launcher in Tomb Raider 1? That's exactly what I would expect from an update like this. Why can't we enable Tomb Raider 3 mutants in Tomb Raider 1 Atlantis and vice versa? This is what I really wanted to see, but unfortunately they were holding back. And I understand that it sounds simple to implement on paper, but in reality, these enemies, these assets would have to be recreated from scratch. But again, this is a free update that was shadow dropped, didn't have an announced release date, and I feel like you had as much time as you needed to even make what you actually delivered stable, and that's not what happened. I understand there are internal deadlines and pipelines we, the fans, don't have visibility of, but why, when it's a free update and it's not even announced in advance, not release it when it's ready? And when release it, why not release it with truly exciting features like mixing and matching elements from the 3 games? I would honestly love to see that for the first 5 games combined. I understand Angel of Darkness would be difficult outside of cosmetics. So anywho guys, I wish I had more narrow opinion, so to speak, saying, oh, this whole update sucks, oh no, it's actually great, we should be so grateful. I am very conflicted about this. Wasted potential, filled with bugs, but I had fun. That's where I'm at, that's where I'm gonna leave you. I hope you guys had fun, if not with the update itself, at least with my video, and you know what you're getting yourselves into. If you haven't yet applied the patch, be careful, back up your save files on PC before you do. And I just want to say thank you for sticking around, I truly appreciate it. This is the part where at the end of each of my videos I would give thanks to my Patreons, but I was cheeky and I did it differently, and I have already done that. So if you're my Patreon and you skip to the end to see what my thanks will be, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to look through the video to find your name, okay? I just thought it'd be fun to do it this way when actually encountering Winstons. Anyway guys, thank you so much for being here with me. I'm gonna go back to tackling Tomb Raider 5 Remastered, and until I'll see you again, I want to wish all of you happy raiding.